I'm
we
gonna
are.
call this meeting of the CVB for Monday, September 18th to order. I'm gonna have my roll call. So, James Long, Kathy Cordes,
Here.
Justin Fortney, Mike Monahan,
Here.
Dan Newton,
Here.
HC,
Yes.
Verla,
Yes, here.
Steve, Cheryl. Okay, all right, and then we have myself, Andrea Post, Heath Shelton here, and Abby Rupp, and
And
Ms.
Pat Taylor.
Pat Taylor, thank you. All right, do we have any public comment? Oh,
You say his name? Okay, so.
no public comments? Okay, moving on. Look over your minutes from August 21st meeting. See where I messed up? See if I messed up? Read through these 3 times, but it's a lot.
I move we approve the minutes. Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, passes unanimously by those present. Moving on to the hotel motel tax fund, where we stand. So for those who don't know, I think all of you here know, but the Convention and Visitor Board, we get our funding from a percentage of the hotel motel tax fund. I had some people this week come and say, well, don't we get sales tax to run this? We don't. We are completely reliant on a percentage of the hotel motel tax that we bring in that is earmarked for tourism. So in this fund, we've got several lines.
And you did explain to me it's only 2/3.
Yeah, it's two-thirds of what's collected over the year. Remitted quarterly, correct? Remitted quarterly. All right, so here we go. Marketing supplies, our unencumbered balance stands at $31,454.21. This month, I did take out, we did have the, some new brochures that I ordered. So they're not new design, they're just an update of the old design. They should be coming in Wednesday, but that's something new that's in there. Special events budget, we still have just over $2,000 left in that. Professional services, now that that was that OSU tourism study that's over now. Professional development then, I have $597.85 left in that. And for conventions and trade shows, that's, you know, things where if we want to booth or if we want to send people, we have $5,544.70 in that. So, are there any questions about anything on this spreadsheet?
Quick question, is OIBF coming out of the new budget?
That one's actually, it is, even though that is an October event, we had enough of a balance left over that it's coming out of the marketing budget,
Okay.
for, yeah.
For this year, okay.
Mhm.
What was it total?
2,500.
Okay.
Okay, any more discussion of that?
Okay, we got money left over end of the year.
Yeah, we will. We can do a budget amendment and roll that over into next year and get some good stuff going. Okay, so, next, I thought Samantha Stewart was going to join us tonight to talk about the t-shirt sponsorship for the Oklahoma Teen Book Convention. That's gonna be here in Guthrie in October 28th, 2017. It is the inaugural event, according to Sam, according to the letter they submitted, and according to their website. I know, Mike, you said it was the 4th year, but I don't know where did you read it?
I just looked up Oklahoma Teen Book Convention,
Ah, okay,
and they got a whole website there, so.
Yeah. Well,
But if they say
check
it's,
that.
it might be
Here, first time.
it might be the first time someone else has taken it over, so they might be.
yeah. I do know that, I think Oklahoma Department of Libraries involved with this. I know Candy Ford at our library, and then Samantha Stewart, who was with our library. They are some of the real advocates that got it here. And so I'm really glad for that. I know they're bringing in authors from all across the nation. I should have brought the list, but I know there was at least 6 big name authors and several other authors. They're gonna have book signings and workshops and things all day. They are asking for sponsorship of t-shirts for their volunteers, and for that we would get our logo on the back. I have to admit, during a lot of things we sponsor, this we usually get sometimes somewhat of a little bit of a better value, but I think this being the first event here, we really have a chance to shine. I kind of want to make sure that we're showing some community support for this event being here. I'm planning to volunteer out there that day. We've got a quote from Body Billboards. There were, she said she could get me some other quotes. They quoted 100 shirts. They don't think they'll need that many, but they're asking for us to approve up to 100 shirts. That way, if they have more volunteers sign up, they have what they need. It would be something where we paid for the shirts. It wouldn't be we give them the money and then they buy the shirts and then what happens to the rest of the check. And this would fall under those conventions and trade shows line item, I believe, because it's something where, it's for us to have a representation in a
So
local
they
trade
would bill us.
Yeah, I would probably be the one to place the order. I was gonna have a draft design for you too. I know Sam, I don't know if you know, Sam Stewart, hurt her leg, hurt her ankle. It's pretty bad, so she's been kind of laid up with that, and she's been trying. But, what do you all think of that?
Does it mention all the logos from the sponsor, so other people sponsoring will be on the back of the t-shirt also?
I believe so. There's that spreadsheet right there. That's their sponsorship levels. I think there's been some discussion internally, they said, about what their sponsors get. I know that their distinguished sponsors, which is $5,000 and more, they get print promotion. And so the shirts being printed would probably have that on there. But anything, I'm not sure that they would get a logo on anything less than $5,000. So it would be, we get our logo on there for less than 1,000, and everybody else gets their logo for 5,000 and up. And I can pass this around. There's one copy down there.
Yeah, I've got another
So.
if somebody needs it. Okay.
So.
How many people are they expecting?
Question.
They're expecting around 1,000 people. They said they're expecting around 500 teens plus family. So I think target market is between ages 11, 12 up to probably around 22. What were you gonna ask, Pam?
That was it.
Okay.
You know, what they're expecting to draw.
Since it's not a ticketed event, it is a free event. That does help your attendance, but it does make it harder to track ahead of time how many people you're planning to have. I know that they do have a registration on their website, so a registration to attend. So I'm not sure where they got their numbers. If Sam would is here, I asked her.
Okay, so basically, you got distinguished premier and presenting, so they're all print promotion items. So that's could be, how many vendors do you think they would have on the shelf?
I'm not exactly sure. But I think, for a fifth of that, it's a good, I don't know that we'd get the other perks listed on that list though for lesser sponsors.
And this quote is for front and back printing?
Yes, yeah, to my knowledge,
Okay.
it is.
They're a nonprofit.
I think that through Oklahoma Department of Libraries, yes. I know they're not doing this to make money at all. It's,
Suppose sales tax on it. Or there was sales tax on the invoice.
yeah, they did put sales tax on the invoice. I've taken it off for, if we were to need to do the whole 100 t-shirts, the quote that I have is $995.
That's a max they're asking.
That's a max they're asking. They're expecting about 50, but they won't know until everybody's in place. It may be less than that. It may be significantly less than that.
Well, I guess that was my question. So if we order them 100 shirts and they only get,
We're not gonna order
We're-
it.
no,
We're gonna know how many
Yeah.
shirts we need to order
Yeah.
before that.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
they're just still, they don't
we-
have a
Jack
finalized
needs a
list.
week's notice to do the shirts. So they'll know how many shirts they need. So it may be 50 instead.
I would motion to approve
Up to 1,000?
it. Yeah. Up to what they're asking, 100 shirts. I just want to make sure our logo is bigger than anything else.
Put in the center and then everybody else can get little satellites.
I'll ask her about premier placement.
There.
And I'll try to send this all a proof. I know we can't really, we can't, I would be outside of the meeting, so we can't do a lot, but, if you trust me, I'll advocate for us. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion carries.
So on the grab bags,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing it right, so can we provide something for them through the CDB or something like that?
Possibly, I'm thinking about our stickers,
Okay,
so,
okay, or any of our merchants wanna put something in there, or restaurants and things like that?
yeah, we may see about, restaurant coupons. That'd be a good one. I know at least I would think that their authors coming nationwide would
They
probably
are,
be
they are.
staying. Oh, good, okay. So there will be some hotel stays.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Wonderful. Okay.
can we ask that they sort of give us a report back since we are giving them money? Can we get a post-event report as to how many people actually showed up and if they did stay in hotels?
Word.
Now, where are they having this?
This is at the Scottish Rite
Scottish Rite,
Sonic
right.
Center.
Okay.
Number of attendees, estimated hotel stays. Okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to ask him for that. They know up front, we can better plan on it. Okay, are we ready to move on to the next thing? All right, discussion of the fiscal year 2018 proposed budget. So there's two documents in your packet related to that. The first one is from Kim Biggs, treasurer. So, it should look kind of like this. Should be the one on top. Highlighting didn't go through because I didn't copy it in color, sorry. Save money. Budgeted fund balance, so yeah, we're estimated to have, money left over in several of our funds that we can do a budget amendment and roll over. So that's why that total revenue is larger for FY17 estimated versus FY17 proposed, is that budget hasn't been amended to include leftover dollars since we still have another, 2 or 3 weeks of spending that'll go in there. 2 weeks. We're expected to take in a total revenue for around $190,000 next year. That is for parks and for tourism. So the tourism part that is proposed is $126,790. That's what we're going to have to work with for next fiscal year, without the rollover from this year. Look over that and see what we've got. And then I've broken down kind of why I broke out what I broke out. I have this next page, why I divided up the way I divided it up. So there's professional development, which I'm only asking $750 for that. We've got special events, advertising, marketing, our printing costs, which goes for toner in my office. and travel conventions and trade shows.
So the first piece came from Tim, this is coming from you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, and behind that breakdown is each of the line items, some different things I thought we would want to look at 2018. These are not things that have been, these are not set in stone. I probably should have written draft on all of them for you, but how I got my estimates for these numbers, what I thought we could do with that.
Good job.
So, got a lot of quotes. I know our special events budget is a little bit, it's less than we've spent in previous years on special events. We can always adjust line items. I would say we could take from travel, conventions, and trade shows, or from advertising and marketing to increase that special events line item if we start getting into the year and, you know, we aren't able to support events at the level we would like. So,
This is really good. This is really good, Andrea. Thank you.
thank you. You left your packet out here. Any discussion of that? Need another minute to look over it? Okay. Well, if we're good to go, I'll move on. Are we good? Dan, you go? Okay, I know you're really good at financials and so, and I miss things, so, all right. Number 7, logo apparel. So I got, some other quotes for, t-shirts, front and back. I have a sample here that I'll pass around. This is from Body Billboards. I do wanna put, I do want to add www.guthrieok.com, probably underneath the logo on front, maybe on both sides. What do you guys think of that?
Front.
Front? Okay, let me pass this down.
It's beautiful and blue, that's what you envisioned.
Yeah.
Blue is good.
Blue jay blue.
Those stars look
Baby
pretty
blue.
nice as well.
Baby blue jay blue.
Those stars look nice.
But it looks nice.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little more of a powder blue, but, and we can make adjustments to that if we want.
Who did this one?
This is Body Billboards, the sample they did. And according to our quotes, they're the most reasonable quote I got, so, so I think if we want to take action on this, we can. I think we're ready.
Do you like?
How many are you thinking of ordering?
Leroy said start with 12, so.
Different sizes.
Start with 12. Yeah, I'm looking at 2 small, 3 medium, 3 large, 3 extra large, and 1 2 extra large.
Okay.
Do we have
These
a-
are for volunteers who would help you out.
Yeah, these are for volunteers at,
Do we have
yeah.
a cost on that?
Yeah, it should be on this sheet here. It's $182 from Body Billboards for that, and a 5-day
$15.
turnaround, so.
They're $15 each.
Mhm.
$200 then, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I make a motion, we approve the t-shirts.
I'll second. You can have it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Another thing on logo apparel, while we're just on the topic, I have gone with Crossroad Designs, and they said they were waiting for their sample to come back. They had gotten one sample done and it didn't turn out well, so they're getting another one on the embroidered items that we approved last meeting. I just wanted to give you that clipboard board. But it's in process. And Heath, I haven't forgot about your hat. I'm waiting for a quote. So, anyway, we may improve that internally because you guys have already approved that. A hat's not very much. So, all right. Next, booth and display products. So, I got a design here. The slides didn't end up quite in order from what I originally put them, but there we go. Aaron's got it on screen for us if you want to see it there. So I'm used to going to a trade show, and a lot of trade shows, it's appropriate and it's fine. We have our 8-foot table, we have a tablecloth, we have stuff we can set up on that, and it's fine. But if we're going to do bigger expos and we have either 8 by 8 or 10 by 10 areas, I wanted to envision something that we could do that would be portable, better. People, you know, when you're at a large event, an expo, if there's seating available, you probably see people sitting there. And what better time to capture people's attention than when they sit down on a cushion. They have a place to read your literature. There's a stand in the middle for the laptop for video that can play. And then, of course, we can do a backdrop background. Right now, what we do for our background, we have 2 extendable pop-ups. Actually, one of them belongs to the chamber. It says Choose Guthrie. They let us use that. And then one of them belongs to us, and it's got a picture of Guthrie on it, and it's got old logo. And both of those we put on either side just behind our table. I wanted to do something, that sticks with our website and our advertising, kind of really push this vision of Guthrie. Because I could see people envisioning themselves walking down the street and checking this place out.
And this is eye-catching when you're in an exhibit hall,
Yeah.
where people will see it.
So those benches there they're pretty cool. They're folding storage ottomans. So I don't know if we need 2 or 3, but
people
yeah.
are gonna sit on those?
And they can hold up to 660 pounds.
That was my next question.
Yes. 600 pounds, excuse me, 600 pounds, and they are collapsible, and we can also store other stuff in them, so that might help with transportation.
My question was, is that gonna change the type of vehicle you travel in?
Well, right now we've got the Ford Explorer that the city has. I have a Toyota RAV4. Looking at these measurements, those benches are only 15 inches wide. So I'm thinking I could fit 2 of them side by side and still fit our gray bin of goodies next to that.
I wouldn't get white.
You
See,
would-
that's what I
yeah,
would say.
Okay.
Just
They are
because
available
of, all
in
it takes
colors.
is one Sharpie mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or one scope, I mean, it doesn't have to be a Sharpie.
Field ring.
Okay. What color would you go with? Because there's brown options, there's black, there's red.
Not red,
Okay.
Probably brown.
black or brown.
Black or brown, I'd agree.
Like,
Brown looks a little bit more vintage than black.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that the white was one of the cheaper options. So
I think you'd be sorry on that white in a
I
heartbeat.
think
Yeah.
okay.
Pizza sauce.
So on the one that says white or brown, 1999,
Oh, yes, they do have white. You're right. I missed that. They do have brown in that brand.
and then I don't know what that other color is for 30, but they say white or brown, so
Yeah.
we could buy 2 brown ones for 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Base-
it holds 60 pounds less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
60 pounds
600,
less.
it's 60.
Yeah.
When you asked about vehicle a while ago, were we thinking
I'll
about
go brown.
the size of the screen? Does it fold out pretty small, or do we know?
Well, the laptop
It'll be as wide
stands.
as this, however wide you get it, but that won't fold
Right.
up.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it would fit down the middle of the,
Well, there may be places we don't have power and can't do that, but I'm really hoping that we can
Could
show
have it.
video.
oh, it is just a video screen?
It just, no, it'd be a stand to put our.
No,
we
she's
have
talking
a lot.
about the
Oh,
background.
I'm so
I'm talking
sorry.
about
How big is the background?
It depends on what we order.
Cause it's gonna be however long, but then it'll roll up,
Yeah.
so.
I would recommend that we do, it could be 8 foot long. There are some of them that are made in 3 panels. They tend to be a little more expensive, but, that might be easier to transport.
I would say at least the 8x8, and then just make sure that the photo you send, is the right
Yeah.
pixels and stuff to make sure it goes big on the panel. I'm sure the company wouldn't let you do it wrong, but that's the other concern is using a picture that has course you
How
would. You would
big-
make sure we have that.
How big are the booths that we?
They're usually
when we go
8 by
to the-
8 or 10 by 10.
when we go to
It
the-
depends on.
So even if it's a 10 by 10 at a road show, an 8 by 8, we'd be okay with
Yeah.
that size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may shoot for 8 by 7 just for wheeled, so we can, yeah. I mean,
And you gotta
'Cause
remember,
you've gotta
you're
have-
using a case, so the case is gonna be
yeah, the
bigger as
case
well,
is
so
gonna
it's
be bigger, and also if you
It's a
have
hot
any
case.
cords or anything that need to pass around your booth, that would give us a little bit of extra space. What do you think of that, Heath? I know you've done some of those
Yeah.
shows.
It's probably a hard case as well, right?
There's,
Usually a hard case.
Yeah, you can pay for one.
Just use it for-
I'm not understanding the video stand, if that's a fixed backdrop.
Well, no, Aaron, can you go back to the main picture?
Oh. it's
Well,
just-
well,
There you go.
in the middle?
very,
Uh-huh.
very,
Like
very
that
center.
stand, like we could put a laptop or an iPod or iPad to
Oh,
show the
just-
video.
Just for them to look
Yeah,
at on.
Yeah.
not that it wouldn't project up
That's
on the
what I-
screen.
Yeah, no projection.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Sure.
So all these prices are different, so which one are we looking at for the 8 by 7 or the 8 by 8? Because there's one 8 by 8 for 195, and then there's a 8 by 7 for 321.
You want the 321 because it's the kind that expands and goes down into, that other one, see, it's not gonna,
Okay.
you see, it's not gonna expand, or retract is what the
Yeah,
word I'm looking for.
On the full
Get
budget
the-
on that, there's a separate back page where I did the budget out. I just put the 10 by 10, 528, because I figured it was a good middle number to kind of guesstimate
But
the
you
total.
definitely wanna
for
get the
sure.
retractable.
But yeah, I definitely want to get the
And you
retractable,
don't want that 8 by
so I
8.
can set it up.
Right.
Yeah, that $321 one looks pretty good. Agreed.
So on your picture, the floor, is that part of your?
That was just part of wherever, there may be carpet, there may be, I don't
Okay,
have anything.
So that's not part of the booth that
Correct.
you're showing?
Correct.
I just keep going back to the vehicle, and I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, but
No, that's okay.
I'll, it's gonna be
Tiny little Andrea.
7
Yeah.
foot long or 8 foot long versus doing the 3 panels, and I realize you're spending a couple hundred more. Those 3 panels look like they'd be easier to work with,
And packing and.
travel with.
And you get the same effect overall. I mean, it's the same width and.
Right. And I just like us represented well, if we're gonna go ahead and
If we
do
can
this.
fit it, yeah, I think so
let's
too.
Let's look nice.
That makes it at 9 feet, if you have 3 of them that are 3 feet.
And if you do the panels and you put everything the right way, there is a possibility that middle one, if you had the Guthrie, you could just, if you were at a smaller
Mhm.
place,
Just put
you
it
could
up.
just use the middle one versus
That's a
the
good
whole
point.
thing.
Yeah.
If you,
Because it would
if you,
still,
Oh, 3 by
Peg it
10.
right.
Oh, I see what you, okay.
because it would still show the
the
buildings.
Guthrie, and it would show a little bit of the but
Yeah.
it would have the Guthrie on there for sure.
So are you looking at the one, Dan, that says 3 by 7 panels?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So
Like you, we
these
could
Does
do
he
enough
wonder what
space
that-
To know
Let's see.
That 10 by 10 one looks
Set
like
up.
3 panels also.
It is, yes.
So wonder
I
what the
just-
difference is.
Yeah. Well, it's the different producer, it's a different company that produced it. I quoted from probably 6 different stores.
See, or if we're gonna do that, could we use the 5 by 10 over on the left-hand side there for $640?
How much you need 2 of them?
Well, no, you really wouldn't if it's only an 8-foot booth, you just come in.
I
You
don't
come in
know,
a foot and a half.
I still like the background a little bit bigger than
Okay,
what's facing in
okay.
front.
This is gonna look
That's
a
just
little
me, because it
weird.
will
It's
make
the
it look
wow factor, and
enclosed.
it's the wow factor, and when people are walking by these things, that's
That's fine.
that initial,
So, let me ask you, the casing doesn't come with this? That's extra.
Several of them do actually come
actually,
with
they're-
their
should.
carrying.
they
Usually
usually
they do.
retract,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
it
it should.
retracts
Well,
into is
well, the only
actually the
reason why I'm
case.
saying this is, say you went to San Antonio,
Mhm.
okay, and you had to fly.
Mhm. What we would do is ship our stuff.
Yeah,
We would ship
Okay.
it from here to the site. That's very common, actually, even if we provide brochures.
because I've seen them where they've got hard cases,
Mhm.
a lot of vendors would take with them.
That's true. Well, that would be easier even with the 3 panels if I had to
The
carry that
3
on.
panels and the thing that retracts into is gonna be metal, heavy
Yeah.
metal.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you could always put it in some kind of canvas bag or something if you need.
Well, you've seen
That's true.
how we'll put, you know,
And
those,
most of the time they
what
come in
Chamber
that
has
Yeah,
and what you have, you
I don't know,
know.
'cause I just did this.
They
Yeah.
come
There's a
right.
bunch of them.
they are. I kind of like the 3 panel idea.
You just have to heat through the other time.
I don't mind having help. I'll just grab one of you. You guys can
Yeah,
volunteer,
go.
right?
Sure, why not?
Then you can come represent what you do. Be good.
How many brochure stamps? You thinking one?
I was thinking 2, one on either side, so no matter which side people came up on, they had options. It's kind of overkill to do 2, but if we went ahead and ordered 2, if we had any other businesses locally where we wanted to put a brochure stand, like we don't have one in Lazy right now, we could do that. So I kind of like the 2-sided look. They're single-sided
Yeah.
or 2-sided. Yeah. What do you guys
Oh,
like?
that one that collapses into itself, that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I like all your ideas, and I think everything's important. And if we added $300 to the backdrop so you could get the 3 panel, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve up to $1,500 to purchase the stuff. That way it'll cover that and probably some additional shipping if that's the case.
I'd second
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All right. Well, thank you guys very much.
sorry,
Oh,
were
did
we
you
gonna,
wanna?
were we gonna talk about those?
Well, I'll just do that in staff report
Otherwise,
because we can, yeah, I just
Okay.
stuck this in here, so at least we had it. I was doing
I
quotes.
just wanna know if anybody's asked the food truck people if they're willing to do it.
Yes, I'll
Are
get
they
to that
there?
with staff
Okay,
comments.
okay.
And it's been well received.
Okay,
so-
good deal.
Yep.
Yes. Actually, I guess it says display products. Yeah, we have. I've talked
Good.
to, I got a list of 6 or 7 food trucks. I've gotten a hold of 5 of the 7. I've left messages at the other 2. All 5 are on board. They did say, however, that because most of their trailers are aluminum, most of their trucks are aluminum, magnets don't stick. They recommended command hooks, sticky
Oh,
command
yeah.
hooks. So,
And then the other thing I would recommend is to make sure it's just the Guthrie, just our brochure, not like,
Uh-huh.
not anybody else, that way,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I do. I think that, the food truck owners may put something out and it's their
Yeah,
business,
well, they
so.
can do
but
that,
yeah,
but as far as people coming to us going, hey, can you,
Mhm.
it's one thing to do it at the trade show.
Right,
But-
it's enough to keep
Yeah.
up with,
Yeah.
with us
Okay.
getting them refilled, I think. The one decision I would kinda like your input on that brochure holder though, is if we want something with a lid on it or without. Because, I don't know, and I probably would wanna order extra because I know these trucks travel, things happen. I'd rather have some on hand and replace them with the food trucks as we need.
Or do lid?
You said yes with the lid?
Isn't gonna ride on the
I don't think-
side.
I,
Are they gonna take it off because it's just on the hook?
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't imagine it would stay on there if they're gonna put hoods.
I just say lid because I know that food trucks go rain or shine.
They do.
Yeah.
And so if it's raining, your
Yeah, that's
25
true.
brochures are just ruined.
Go with lids.
And even if there's a lid, I mean, if there's a lid, it's not gonna be waterproof, but it's still gonna keep out more rain than if there's not a lid.
Okay,
So, that's my only thing for the lid.
I'm all for that. I just really didn't know which way to go on that, so, okay. Thank you. All right. Ready to move on? Event support program. So this is what we talked about last time. There's also on the table, I got actually Edmund's policy, and there's a copy of that laying on the table in front of you. There's 4 different copies here, so.
Oh,
I thought one of the things is interesting is they did set a $5,000 cap on what you could request, what any single organization could request. That way,
I kinda like that too.
I mean, I know we didn't recommend that last time. There was so much to talk about last time. Right now, where our budget stands for next year, we have 18,000 right now that could be adjusted, that is allocated for special events. A $5,000 cap, of course, would be a whole quarter of that budget. So,
But I like their big grant deadlines.
I know I've revised according to what we did last time. I kept the same application because it's familiar. I did actually put in a worksheet for the budget, for people to fill in the budget. I asked again for the total percentage of the projected budget that is being requested to be provided by us. So we get, get all that. Revenues, expenditures. Take a few minutes, look over that, let me know your feedback.
Nice.
I like the point thing, the point system there. Good idea.
I changed it just a little bit from, I forget which, Latimer County, I think we used the example.
Right.
Makes it even, fair, balanced.
So just out of curiosity on question one, if they tell us they're not expecting to bring any out-of-city residents to their event, is that an automatic 0?
Don't
proceed
proceed
to
to 2.
Well, it's up to 15 points possible, so
Okay.
they could get a 0 for that point category, and they could still get points in other categories.
Okay.
So it wouldn't completely exempt the event from our
No, I'm just,
ability of funds,
yeah,
but
it
yeah,
just
it
hurt them.
might score them lower.
Okay.
Once we get something solid here that we like, once we revisit it and refine this, it will go, I'm hoping to take it to Leroy. He hasn't had a chance to look over what's here and give his input, so this still may be changing. We'll probably look at it again next month.
We gotta take it to city council.
And then it's gotta go to city council because it's considered a policy, it's setting a policy.
Hear that, Jeff?
I heard it.
Do we wanna put this hotel stuff in under their budget thing at all? I know that's another thing you gotta add.
Well, we did ask for, on the new application, where is it?
Did I miss it?
Yes, well, to me, I forget if there was a formula that they used in Latimer County or somewhere where they said if it's the average distance traveled by attendees, if it was over so many miles, they assumed that there would be more hotel stays. If there was, but there's not a specific question, asking that, no.
Oh, yeah. No, question 3, yeah, is this project likely to generate overnight stays in Guthrie? That's okay, I guess, to start with.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I mean, that to me is, something we would kind of guess on knowing how the mileage out from attendees.
Well, I just sort of like this part where it says Edmond hotels to be utilized. We could put Guthrie hotels to be utilized. This is on their second page if anyone's looking for it on the Edmond thing.
Yeah.
It says overflow hotels, do you have a host hotel? And then it just says how many days, or rooms are you gonna occupy? And if it says there's a group room block agreement already in place, so that way we would know if they're going to our hotels and saying, we need 50 rooms or whatever.
They even have a formula to calculate the tax.
You mean to add it to this part on page
Well,
3?
I don't know if we want to add it to ours to get a feel for what the hotel room usage is. I mean, we've got it in the questionnaire.
Yeah.
Are you gonna generate overnight stays? If
Well,
they
it's
say,
also on page 3.
did I miss it?
Yeah, on ours, it's on page 3, estimate number of local hotel rooms used and number of overnight stays. About
Yeah,
2/3 the way down.
yeah, well, that's their post-event report, actually,
Oh,
yeah. But we could add that to the upfront portion. I could definitely add that to the, as a question, estimate number of local hotel rooms used and number of overnight stays. I'd rather it just be kind of one question than, to me.
That's fine. I mean, I just think this is pretty, that they,
It's not that I don't care who their host hotel is, it's just.
no, but they've thought it through enough to know.
Somebody's just gonna write La Quinta and I won't know whether it's here or in Edmond, so.
Well, if they turn around and go to Edmond, there's not much we can do about it anyhow.
Or sleep in or Hampton.
So go back to these points, so how do you determine like a cutoff of points? If it's-
Well, there's up to 100 points possible.
I know, so what's a good point? How do we evaluate it? As 75% been good, 60%, 80%?
Well, I could, to me, we could see how much of our budget we wanna then allocate
Okay.
towards that, I
From
don't have,
what they're
I
asking.
don't have a solid formula for that.
No, from what they're asking.
70%
Yeah.
of $5,000. I
Not
mean,
bad, not
what-
bad. Correct.
Andrea,
Beg pardon?
I mean, if they request $5,000 and they get a 70, maybe we only give them 70% of the 5,000. I mean, is that what you're thinking? Is
Thinking that wouldn't be a bad, might be a, might not be a bad thing. But, yeah.
I do like the idea of having a cap, dollar cap.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
And are we gonna put, because these obviously are gonna take time to score and everything, are we gonna sort of copy Edmund and are we gonna put a couple of deadlines in there?
I'd be
they-
fine with that. I know I pushed back against that because I was afraid that, we wouldn't be able to, we can still sponsor and advertise at events, without this deadline in our marketing and advertising, and so, I think it's fine if we wanna do it. I don't know, what do you guys think? Quarterly? Do you wanna do it every 6 months?
Edmund does it twice.
We'd have 2 really long meetings, sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
they do
But I
grant
like
the
that.
deadline February 1st and then they talk about it in March and they do August 1st for September. I mean, we could do it quarterly, I mean,
I would probably push to quarterly with our kind of events. I know it will take a lot to get,
We do it twice annual
That's
amount,
fine,
so.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would be an easy, you have to determine.
Yeah, it was awesome last time.
And then we could budget whatever we have as well.
Now, the only,
Did you hear about the last one?
does anyone know,
Last one?
would we get in trouble because we're a fiscal year in October? And we got like, so if we do a deadline for October for grants and talk about it in the November meeting, would that be hard to do? Or can we put the deadline, can we do the deadline like September and talk about it in October?
I would think that, I would say we probably want to work 3 months out. We'd still want applications 90 days in advance.
Okay.
So say if you wanted to apply for funds in January, you probably ought to have your application in by October. I know that's not, then again, a monthly basis, but we could, I'll look into quarterly and see
you
what dates
know.
make sense. I know, I
Some people,
mean,
and some people might not know that.
yeah.
That may be one of the award metrics, is if the application was in on time.
I know that's dividing up more points, but I
Yeah.
can do that.
I'm just throwing that out
Yeah,
there.
I'm not
Because just
opposed to
because
that.
they don't get it in on time doesn't necessarily mean we're not gonna give them the funds. Does it?
Well,
I'm just saying.
I guess I'm just asking, at what point do you start holding them accountable? They know when their events are coming.
Well, that's true. Well,
Yeah.
the ones that are
Are
used
in
to it
place.
know, yeah.
Correct.
But maybe when we get this in place, the events that we have given money to,
You need to.
we could
Yeah,
send
we
it,
need
we
to
could
reach
send a
out.
letter or an
Yeah.
email, whatever, saying
Here's our
the
new.
process has changed,
Yeah.
you now have to have it in 90,
Yeah.
whatever we decide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
once
way
this
they
is-
aren't just hanging out there waiting till the last
Yeah.
minute because they don't know.
once this is ready to the point where it's ready to go to council, that's when I wanna bring all those folks on board and let them know. here's our plan, I've got the list, and I can look at quarterly dates, I wanna
Then
talk to
scrap
Kim
what I
about
just,
that.
scrap what I just said,
Um,
as long as they know.
okay,
'cause,
yeah.
You know, I just want them to be.
I
able to
understand, I
know.
don't want them to
Yeah.
get just, suddenly it doesn't work
Yeah.
anymore. I wanna talk to Kim and see what she recommends from, treasurer's perspective, she couldn't come tonight, she had a game, but, asked her if she wanted to talk about FY18. But, I'll see what she says on quarterly deadlines and how soon she would recommend from her standpoint in collection of the tax, so that we can stay solvent as we award to events. But yeah, I'll check into that, and what are you are you thinking a $5,000 cap, are you thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we could, to me, we can do other still advertising through contract or events through contract that are larger.
Now that
too.
I'm not even so sure that it shouldn't be on a declining scale, that they,
Well, that is one of the points
Is
here. I believe so. If it's a new activity, they get 5 points. If it's existing, they get 2. And there is in the policy, policy was borrowed here from others. Let's see here. Elements demonstrate how the support from the City of Guthrie Tourism Department will make the project or event self-supporting. I may borrow some language from Edmonds because they also had something in theirs about, I said my paperwork somewhere, I'm sorry. About,
Is that
you know,
right
it
there in
is
front of
their
you?
goal to, yep, you're right, thank you. Let's see here.
well, it says this grant is not a source of permanent funding.
I may add that line, I don't wanna use grant, because it's not a grant, it's tax dollars, but, I'm gonna add that, I'll see about adding that line to ours.
Because I think some of them think just because they got it last year, they get it this year.
Yeah, and it is
Okay.
expected that events that become regular annual events will develop a sponsor base and grow to no longer need this assistance. I will add those two,
Yeah.
so that way we have. All right, well, I don't know if we need to take any action on this tonight, but I will go back and revise this and have a new copy for you in October. So.
I would just direct you to make those corrections so we can vote on it in October
Okay,
and take it to city council.
okay, yeah, we can do, yeah, it may be in November when we take it to council, but.
Well, I would say if we do it in our meeting in October, they can have it on the first meeting in November.
Yep.
And we would be new enough into the new fiscal year that we could
Yeah,
make it work.
yeah, we already have our application in for December, so that would, from territorial Christmas, so that wouldn't, you know what I mean, that's gonna fall before this would be in place
Be a
anyway.
transition process.
Yeah. Start that. Are you guys satisfied with, other, you know, thinking? Good
Yep.
deal.
You did good.
Yep.
All
Some of
right.
the groups may not like it because it's asking more questions than they want to give us, but
It's true, and I know this is, a lot of work, but the phrase goes around, there's no free money, and this is tax dollars, it's limited
right.
funds, and we're responsible for how those are allocated, you know? I mean, I certainly do want our events to be successful, definitely, because that's a huge draw here, and it's one of the wonderful things that makes the community work, but, yeah, I hope we can use it then to grow and get more and do more, and maybe this will be a way to do that. And maybe it will be a way too when we come in where we can review these applications and we have people understand what the expectation
Well, and
is.
you can take the emotion out of it.
Yeah, it becomes pretty, yeah, process, standard. Okay. All right, so autumn event, social media giveaways. The things that I have on my list for this, that I may want to do giveaways for, that I've identified are the Guthrie Scaregrounds, Guthrie Hump Scaregrounds, Guthrie Escape, Oklahoma International Bluegrass Festival. We've done between $150 and $200 in the past per event. Are there other events you see that you'd like to do a social media giveaway for? Are you okay with that number? What do you like?
I don't think there's anything
I don't think
other
there's
as
anything
far
else
as
to
the
know on it.
events.
Besides the team book.
There's
Yeah.
something else coming to town.
The team book.
What is it?
And I saw when I was at the fair, but I can't remember when it was. I thought they were doing a quilt show or something in like November.
Wrestling's coming in October.
Yeah, there is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, October.
So-
Tuesday, 7th.
The only thing I would say, if we want to get visitors in town, I mean, just, you know, we do have the air show, but it's on the same weekend as Guthrie Escape.
Mhm.
But it's
But I
not,
don't-
it
but I-
doesn't, it's not a fee though, is it?
But they don't charge, well, neither does Guthrie Escape. We're just trying to get people in.
Oh, but you could give away a wine glass.
Yeah.
Well, can you with, you know, wristbands? I don't know how we check if those people are, I guess we, yeah, over 21. I don't know if there's any, I guess it's just a glass, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
actually the tastings, so. Have to get a
Because I think
wristband.
you gotta have the wristband in order to get it filled.
Mhm.
The quilt show was at the fairgrounds.
Okay. Do you know the date by chance? Thank you.
I just, someone told me about when I was down taking pictures at the county fair, so.
Wouldn't there be something they could give away for the teen book convention? I mean, it's not a ticket, but would you give
Buy an author's book and give it
book?
away maybe, I don't know.
a book away?
I can ask Samantha and see what she says. I mean, that's another option, yeah. for us.
Aaron says the fly-in is the 21st.
Huh.
This weekend.
The community and fly-in,
September.
airport community and fly-in day, I thought it's,
Probably
that's September
October.
30th.
I thought it was September
That's,
30th.
I have a poster up in my office that says
I hate
September
that.
30th.
Yeah.
Aaron, check your date.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, yeah, the giveaways are good.
Okay,
I think,
do you wanna do 150 apiece?
why do we need to do
100
the haunted house?
Because it's the biggest
it's the number
haunted
one
attraction
haunted
in
attraction
Oklahoma.
But he's a profit guy. He makes money. He charges.
So does bluegrass.
Yeah, and we're trying to get people here by giving them stuff that they
Okay.
wouldn't ordinarily do.
Okay.
So, and it is spending money on a local attraction, so,
That's true.
I mean, you know.
All the other ones
When
I
we
did.
buy goodies, we were spending like OIVF, we're spending money on tickets.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, you asked, I answered.
Fupa.
Wet noodle.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, cause
So
we're, I don't
what are we
think-
gonna give away? A paid admission or?
Sure.
Yeah,
or-
tickets.
Yeah, probably a couple
Yeah.
tickets. He's been
Okay.
good about even donating.
Yeah, he
them for our
donated,
giveaways.
what was it? He donated 5 sets of tickets for the
Mhm, for
last
the,
media blitz.
Yeah,
So,
so,
because haven't we've been doing like tickets and food
mhm,
in the giveaways.
yeah,
So it would be, they'd come for dinner and then they'd go
That's
get their
fine.
pants scared off of them.
yeah.
So,
Go for it.
How much are the tickets?
What are we doing? 150 an event or 100 an
Up
event?
to, yeah, up to 150 in a giveaway,
And some of them don't even cost that.
and some of them don't cost
Okay.
that, so.
So $450. And then, since we're talking about I don't, well, does that fall under that? Probably not. I won't touch it then. Because last year on the budget, Cody spent money for, a bit of it, money for hay in downtown Oklahoma, or downtown Guthrie for the Halloween season.
That is something
No,
that's not on the
it's-
agenda because it didn't make it in for tonight, I'm sorry, we just were past our deadline. Hoping we can solve that internally,
Yeah.
so, between Leroy, sorry folks. I gotta, yeah. I didn't,
No, that's fine.
I didn't know who was handling it, I didn't know to ask, so, so, yeah,
Okay.
but,
It's on my lap right now.
Yeah,
It's on your lap right now. And what, for the chamber hat lap? Yeah, okay.
Talk to Joe Chapman, because he's helped.
Okay.
I know, well, he's the one who requested.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
well, I don't know if we need, if
Well, it
it's-
says
if-
take action, so I make a motion that.
Well, last year, we got someone,
Oh, you're talking about hay bales again?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
just answering.
Okay,
Last year, we were going to where Cody was gonna pay for him, but we got someone who donated the hay last
Well,
year.
they did pay for it. There's $300 for hay bales in the budget.
No, might be budgeted, but.
I'll do some research and see
Yeah.
what I find, so. And I
Okay.
might call, I may make some phone calls too. I mean, I have family up in Kansas that has hay, but that's an awful long way to haul it.
Just shit, just
Okay, so I make a motion that we up to $150 for the 3 events for social media giveaways. days.
Do we wanna include a fourth event, the teen book, or the quilt show, or a fifth event?
Well, the quilt show we'll figure out, we can always do that at our October
We
meeting.
can't do in October, that's true.
Well,
We could do the two, yeah, okay, all right. Well then, there's a motion.
I'll second.
All in, or any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next, Travel OK, Hilti, Tulsa, October 12th. I have an RSVP. Leroy said, yeah, go for it. This is another roadshow with Travel OK. This is around 500 people. Hilti is, they design and sell professional construction tools.
Where's this at?
It is, yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We get a 6-foot table and a chair. So they provide that for us. I don't know that any of our major food goodies will be, but it's $175 for that.
What day is it on?
It is Thursday, October 12th. With an extra $50, we could provide a video loop, but I didn't get with Aaron prior to this meeting to see if he had any video that we could do a 30-second commercial, create a 30-second commercial and run. If we do both the on-site and the video ad, that would be $225. I'm happy to just show up as a roadshow and talk to people. We'll have our printed brochures, and I'm making some binders with local information so that we don't have a really messy table, and we'll have
Aaron says he does.
ink pen stickers. Aaron's awesome. Thanks, Heath. Any discussion about this?
We've had good luck so far, so.
One of the things too we talked about with road shows, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this here, or mention it here. I've talked with several people in hotels, and to help track some response, one of the things that we might be able to do is create a business card, one side glossy, that has a, on the back, you saw me at, and then I can write in Hilti or wherever. On the front it would say, turn this card in for a welcome bag when you get to Guthrie, in any of our hotels. And we have those goodie bags that we can fill with information and all kinds of things. I can work with the chamber on that, and those are something that we have internally that I can take to the hotels. Water bottle mint, ink pen, stick pen, stickers, brochure, map, all of that. And then they can get their welcome bag when they come in. And every month or so I could come out after, visit the hotels, which keeps me connected with them. It's a good thing. And also, collect cards, see how many cards were turned in, to see if people then stay overnight because of what they've, or at least, check into a hotel for a goodie bag. I don't, that's kind of
That's one way to do it.
it's something that I'm exploring. I haven't,
Gotta track it somehow.
yeah, it's something.
That's a good idea.
Cheaper than geofencing.
Then what?
Geofencing, setting up a digital perimeter so that when people come in, it registers. But that's something I'm pursuing to help track. I don't have anything solid to bring to you on that, so it's not really ready for a major discussion or decision or anything like that. But it was kind of related to going to a road show. I may do a trial run with just some in-house printed stuff for this. If I can get it ready in time. I may not be able to get it ready in time,
So are we talking
But-
$225 plus mileage and to send?
I guess it would be, I guess I was looking at 175,
Okay.
or do we wanna do video? I mean, that's what do you guys think?
I don't know, do people really stand around and watch the video? I didn't.
We haven't had one, so I
Well,
don't.
then just do 175 plus the mileage.
I'm trying to think of the one I went to,
Just
I didn't even
continues.
had any video.
Keeps
Depends
playing,
on
right?
kinda depends on the
Yeah,
venue.
it's a continuous
It's
loop.
all that family oriented and they're not, I don't know.
Yeah, see, mine wasn't, but there wasn't any video at the two that I picked.
If it plays
Nobody had any of
some
mine.
bluegrass and then another group from
Yeah, I
Redneck
think it's gonna
Nights,
be
if it has some
bigger
music,
than yours, right?
Might be catchy.
it would get.
It's gonna have to buy a
$150 more.
Yeah.
28 inch.
But you could put it on your table.
Keith, did you see, yeah, I could still bring a laptop and set it up and have our own video playing. It wouldn't be on Travel OK's. I don't know
Yeah.
what their sound is, if they have sound. Keith, if they have, do you know?
See, I don't ever, that's what we were saying, I don't think the two I've never seen any videos.
What you really need is a little flat screen TV that's sitting on the edge of the table with the video, our video running on it.
I can do that on a laptop. I know it's not
Well, I know,
great,
but it's that big. Nobody's,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Something to think about.
it is something to think about.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's my thought, if we
I mean,
were,
you're gonna
if we,
spend,
if we personally were gonna do a video, I would say invest in a medium-sized flat screen,
I mean, you don't want it too big
No.
because it's gonna sit on your table.
but big enough that if there's 3 people standing around, it's not blocked.
How do we load stuff? I mean, I guess, well, I should know this. Most TVs have USB
Smart,
plugs
yeah,
anyway, so.
absolutely. You just run it through.
Yeah. I mean, that would be, future-wise, if we were gonna do video, that's what I would recommend. But as far as having Travel OK doing video, at the two that I were at, there wasn't any videos playing,
Okay.
The one
so.
at the one I was at.
Yeah, that one was outdoors, so I
Yeah.
couldn't think.
Eric, giving me suggestions.
I'd say, I'd make them 175 plus expenses then, which would.
Aaron says we have one and a Blu-ray player.
Oh, yeah, okay. Plus, you keep making me change my motion, Aaron. 175 plus expenses to send Andrea or Keith to Tulsa.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. So we're on to number 12, discussion of Christmas lights, which James Lund was going to be here. He kind of shared his thoughts over, he left me a phone message. He wanted to address something on that. He wanted to talk about, which is just more of a policy and control thing I need to work out with Leroy. City purchasing policy says if we spend more than $1,000, we've got to get 3 quotes. Now, event support is kind of different than that. So, you know, if we are sponsoring a specific service, should we be getting quotes for that, like for staging? You know, do we put that on the organizers? I think, to me, to go out for quotes, I can do the work, someone else can do the work. It's, you know, it's something that probably needs to be decided between Leroy and I.
Is this for the lights by the post office?
It was for, he said there was a lot of things. He said it was not only that, he wants to make sure that we can get the downtown lit up. I forget who you said that I needed to talk to about downtown buildings
So
lighting.
this is exclusive from what the Territorial Christmas is asking, because the money that they get helps pay for the lighting the tree.
Well, I did last year. That's what
Yes.
that's what
So
it was approved for
Is-
last year.
Yeah, but this discussion of Christmas lights, does that include that tree and the buildings?
Well,
or
it was
just the
something he
buildings?
mentioned in his phone call, but I don't know what, again, I don't know what he was planning to discuss. I think his overall, and I may be misspeaking here, I can't speak for him, but from listening to the message, my feel of it was, what can we do to get our downtown lit up during Christmas?
What's-
And is that, you know, yes, it includes working with the tree.
Right.
That includes working with building owners.
There have been a lot of quotes in the past.
Yeah,
In my experience, in the last 15 years, there have been many attempts to light the buildings downtown.
yeah.
And there's gotta be some buy-in from all the retailers, the
I
people
do
that own
know
the
that.
buildings.
Mhm.
Safety issues.
Safety
I do
issues,
know that.
OG&E
Mhm.
has been out and looked at things, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of
I know it's
things.
a lot of work.
And what's the
Um,
chamber kicking into this process? Cause it's downtown buildings.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the chamber.
Nothing to do with the
Well,
chamber.
yeah, unless it's business
I mean,
owners that are
business
chamber
owner
members.
members.
Those are individual
I mean, that would
businesses.
help me
You
spread
know,
the
at one
word a
time,
bit.
I think many years ago, the chamber / CVB, you gotta remember, wasn't
I know.
necessarily chamber, it was
No,
CVB
I
was
know.
part of that,
Mhm.
so.
Well, I do think it helps in placemaking, in place setting, you know, it creates a good, nice ambiance downtown.
And
Some of
you
our
know,
Facebook feedback was that, what happened to all your lights?
And
you know,
quite
for
frankly, it's
Christmas.
been years since we've looked into this, and I think you all will agree with me that there's a renewed excitement downtown, economy's better, new people are in buildings downtown, things are just different, and now's the time probably to
Start the
get it going.
conversation
Yeah.
of seeing, you know, I mean, I know it would be a little bit, I still can't think of the word, audacious, I think, with the time frame to do that, you know,
Well, it won't happen for this year.
But, I've been reading, I've been to webinars, I've been to training, they say if you can get 3 buildings in a row, or one side
Yeah.
of one street lit up the first year, you know,
You'll
and you
catch
can
on.
start getting other people, they said just work on one side of one block, you know, and if you can get enough, all of your stakeholders on that group on board, figure out how to do that one, you can start momentum to build other things in the future. So, that'd be something I'm willing to look into, to, just do one side of one block. I know it may look, the rest of it may look paled in comparison, but if people go, wow, look at that place, it might, help that. I know it's just discussion, we don't have to decide on anything, but I know a lot of people have gone to great pains to work through this in the past with little traction.
So on the Christmas lights, is it something, these lights, does the organization own it, or does the city own it, or it's bought
Business
every year?
owners.
It's part of the cost?
Well, it's on the building, so it's building owners have to be,
No, I mean for the tree.
oh, for the tree, oh, no, they're just leased,
They're leased every year.
yeah.
So is it worthwhile investing in these lights, and then
I don't know what, I mean.
over years it's paid for, you know, with LED lights nowadays, you know?
But
they
then
last
there's
forever.
the issue of storing them and having somebody that knows what they're doing to install them. It's a deal. I mean, it's not stringing lights on
But
your
then dishing out this
Christmas
much money every year
tree.
is a
Yeah, I
deal
don't
as
know,
well.
I don't know.
I guess, Kathy, that's a good question. So we talk about these lights go up in November or whatever, and then they come down in January on these buildings?
No, they stay.
Or once
there.
we
They
get them
stay
up
there.
and
They're just
installed,
lit during that time.
They're just
They're
lit there, okay.
Just like now.
Just like now, I mean, they're up there now.
Or like James is, he lives his on
He-
year round.
Yeah, he likes his during record nights.
mean, which I think is nice.
Like, that's his choice to pay the electric bill for that,
Right,
so.
but I mean, I think it's nice though.
Yeah,
And he doesn't have the little,
it's just
so he doesn't have the little fading lights, they're bright.
Right.
I will
They're
say
the
one of
big-
the-
They're LEDs, but they're big.
Abby did mention, I gotta bring her up, because she did mention, you know, what are the options for solar, you know,
Yeah.
a solar panel power thing to help some of the folks with the electric cost of those lights. And I know that now that they have technology like LEDs and that, I don't know what the costs are. I didn't know if it's something you wanted me to spend some time exploring.
May I interject?
Yep.
Am I allowed to say something?
not really.
Well, it's related to the item,
Yeah.
and I'll just say, go ahead and say,
Yeah.
yeah.
LED lights, I've got a friend of mine who does her entire house, like in Nichols Hills. Her entire bill goes up by $70 a month for the entire house, strip by strip, over like 5,000 lights. So the actual cost, if you're investing in LED lights for the output in your electricity bill, is very small.
And I think James can attest to that, because he puts them up to his house at Christmas.
Mhm.
And I think in the past, that's what we've looked at. People have come in for the
Well,
quotes
that's,
and have
the
quoted
ones
the
that are on,
LEDs.
the ones that are on his
Definitely
building are
are
LEDs.
Yeah, I think.
Even though they're the big, they're LEDs.
Of course, like I said, it's been years, but it was when the LED things really started coming out, so yeah, I think that's
Okay.
the smart way to do it.
Well, I mean,
Is this something we need to bring to the business council on the first Friday of the month and see what?
probably wouldn't hurt to get some feedback there.
And get some history. Talk to Linda Rice, talk to Cherie, they know, they've been here for 20, 25 years, they know what's gone on in the past.
Okay.
Talk to some past CBB presidents,
Yeah.
they know.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because I don't think that's a decision that is gonna be made in this meeting.
No, no,
Because
it's, well,
That's not it.
we're
It's
not
gotta
to
be
the point
taught.
of that even, but.
Well, I know, but it's, I mean, like you
It's
said,
a
it's
city,
gotta
yeah.
be talked to
Yeah.
the businesses, the city.
Mhm.
I mean, everybody's gotta be involved in
Yeah,
the
everybody's gotta be
discussion.
on the.
So right now, do they put out bids, or is it the same vendor they use every year, or what is it?
For
Well,
the tree,
Yeah, for the tree.
it's been the same way. I was actually on the Christmas committee when they first, several years ago. And we went out, we got bids, we didn't just pick somebody
Yeah,
to come to
okay.
it. We got bids, we got a good cost. And then I believe the next year it was a little bit less because they didn't have to do something. I mean, they still charged us to come put them up, but they knew we were gonna use them. But yeah, we got bids. So,
Yeah, but how long ago, but are they still doing that every year? That's what I'm asking.
that's why they're asking for money every year, yeah.
and I think he's saying, are they asking for bids every year, or are they
Yeah,
just using the
from
same
different
guy?
I
vendors, or
believe
using
so.
the same guy?
I believe so. I think they used the same guy the second year because he made him a deal. But as far as getting the bids, I think so.
Well,
That I can't answer. I'm
Is
not
this
on the
something,
committee
you know,
anymore.
that I mean, I can be in it on the city side, is this something too that's more of a, you know, should this be pursued by a community group, since there are so many stakeholders, or, you know, I mean, I'm okay, I'm like, oh, I don't really wanna have another, sort of committee to do all this with, but I'm happy to, honestly, I'm kind of happy because it helps me, you know, build some relationships with people downtown that I need to do anyway.
I don't think this
mean, it's
this
beyond
board
that.
is the decision maker for this.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
But I don't think it would be a bad idea to initiate
Okay.
conversations.
Yeah, I
and
mean, I would love to see
coordinate the
like our
effort.
town
Coordinate
group,
the
you know?
effort.
Yeah,
But you've got to absolutely have the buy-in of the business, the building owners.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, no, that's
And
private
then,
property.
and then the next question is,
So-
what about the buildings that don't have owners?
Yeah, empty.
I mean, that are for sale, and
Yeah.
obviously the owner that's trying to sell them isn't gonna spend money to put so
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know how the companies that bring the lights and do that kind of stuff deal with that.
There's not that many down there that's vacant right now.
Yeah, but like over on Harrison, the old news leader building is empty. So you get the vape shop, you get the empty news leader building.
Well,
I
that's
do
why.
know the guy who's bought
Yeah.
that building though, he comes in for permits, he's doing some renovations on it, he's a pretty active owner, so he's got great plans, great expectations, so. I
The
can
companies
see-
that do this will have options to what's the word, options for things like that. They know how other cities
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
dealt
that's
with that in those empty buildings.
I
and-
could also talk to other Main Street programs or other
Sure.
people with downtown lighting to see how they've gone about it, some of the techniques they
Because you
use
know
to
they've lit
approach
buildings and
people
people have sold the buildings and moved out, and the lights get lit. I mean, there's gotta be something that helps
Boost them.
boost or pay for the, anyway, I don't know enough about it, but the people that do it know a lot about it.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. I
And
think
they are
you're-
all about coming and doing dog and pony shows, so I would have them do
I
that.
may see if we have somebody that can come and talk about downtown lighting and how they did it,
You
you
do
know?
well, and you know, maybe you get 2 or 3 companies that do it, set up time and say, hey, they're gonna be here if you're interested, this is coming.
See, that's, I mean, I don't know if it would work, but, you know, the first thing I thought of is doing like a open for a city forum, I don't know
Yeah.
what you would wanna call it, but.
Well, everybody wants
have those-
downtown to be lit.
Right, but
Yeah.
have those type
They
of
just don't wanna
things,
pay for
Uh-huh.
it.
Well,
right, and
Yeah.
then have,
We did.
open
We
it,
always paid for ours.
you know.
I know,
Mhm.
We got our,
but
we
there's,
got Taylor Mitchell building, but we
Yeah.
just paid the bill.
Yeah.
We actually paid for the fencing door as well.
right, because it
We
was,
just had them plugged into the pole, we didn't
Yeah.
care, Dad said, I
and
don't
that's,
care.
and there's a huge safety issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was big cables that ran across, big
Yeah.
OGD hooked everything up.
okay. Well, that gives us some stuff to start with. I'll start on some research. I'll probably call other cities and see what they've done, Main Street programs, just before I call companies, just because a lot of them get into, you know, I mean, I know they are the experts of what they can do. Other towns may have techniques of how they got businesses on board as well as, ways to bid it and ways to get the word out, so, thank you for all that. Thanks for everybody's input on that. So, is there more discussion on Christmas lights we need to have at this point? Okay, so future items, we've got the October, we're gonna bring back event support. That would be the time to discuss the territorial Christmas application, and I'm planning to invite, invite them back for that, their application, for the support.
And the band instructor from the wind ensemble, he's gonna come talk about the event that they're going to.
Yeah, yeah, I think the main thing we need to know is if our logo's going on something, what's in it. I know it's the school, so it's gonna be a
Right.
tasteful thing, it's not like
And he may.
it's an awareness thing, not a control thing.
Right. No, he won't have the actual piece, but he's shown me some samples from other schools. He can bring those, cause he's wanting to do ours just like the other schools have. So
Yeah.
he can bring some samples.
And you mentioned to me, he was talking about it as a potential sponsorship opportunity too, so since there's money involved.
Yeah. And I think that's mainly just to cover some of the cost of the printing of the programs.
Yeah.
Can we get a request in for a rodeo recap for that 2,500?
Yep. That would be the month to do it since they're through September, so.
Because I've driven by the last couple of Wednesday nights, he's not doing anything over there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check with them. Thank you.
And then the other thing, do we get a recap even though we paid the bills on Red Brick Nights?
I don't think we have a total recap yet. We've been getting kind of a month by month.
Okay, I didn't know.
If you recall, when I was,
I mean, since
yeah.
we only gave them money for insurance of the stage and we know that's gone, I didn't know if we get a full recap.
well, it falls under, I think, that event support application
Okay.
requirements, so, yep.
Yeah, and I've given him attendance numbers every month, so
Okay.
to me, that's about the only thing you can get.
I'll still ask them for their full post-event report.
Lazy E agreement.
Lazy E, yep, thank you, that is that time for that. I'm setting up a meeting with Todd and, well, Megan I haven't talked with Megan at all, actually, so, Todd and actually with Leroy's gonna be in on that with me for
I was
negotiations.
gonna make it through the whole thing.
So-
I
You're
got a meeting at 7.
done.
It's been real.
See you,
I'll
Ken.
watch y'all on TV.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, going back to the Christmas lights, I have one question.
Okay,
Okay, I understand the tree, so is there any attempt by anybody, the city or anybody, to see if any of the building owners downtown will get their lights up and going? Any communication on that part?
no, there hasn't been.
So
On my
should
side of
someone be
things.
doing it, or
Well, that's,
everybody's on theirs?
I mean, we're trying, that's the thing, there's no one point person to handle all of the downtown decorations, and it's something that's, you know, I mean,
Because I know a couple of years ago, and I gotta give credit to Mary, when she did it, you know, she was up there doing it
Yeah.
Bitter cold.
in bitter cold.
For 2 years.
And downtown
She did it
looked
2 years.
awesome.
Yeah, well,
With
she was
all
even up
lights
there on
on.
Saturday morning before the
Yeah.
parade, finishing it off. I
Yeah.
went,
Yeah,
She looked
did it-
awesome downtown.
She
with
did
the
it
lights
2
on.
years in a row by herself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had help, but.
Yeah, she had help, but, you know,
But.
and that's the
pretty much-
passion she had.
Pretty much by herself.
Yeah.
So we still on future items?
well, I
Or
mean, we
where are
hop
we?
back to
Well, I'm
Christmas,
sorry,
I'm
I
just
went
not,
one
I'm
step
just not
back, I'm
sure,
sorry.
I'm just not sure
You know,
what
because,
what
you know,
you need to do.
Well, we just letting the ball drop, you know?
But you want, the question is there
I guess no
anybody
one's taking
downtown?
responsibility.
Okay, is there anyone
That's
downtown
true.
that can do something this time?
Yeah, that's true.
I put
Nobody's-
Christmas lights back on for October,
Okay,
just so if you have found out anything or,
okay, I can send that even to a report to you outside a meeting, but we can do more discussion, but yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that, okay, that works. Trying to think if there was anything
Dan had
else.
something.
Dan had something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I may need the help of Abigail, she's a guest if I get into this.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what I need to say, she's probably gonna help me, but we were at a meeting the other evening, and the topic of an almost futuristic type app for the community was brought up. One that would be interactive, one that would be along the lines, and I know absolutely nothing about Pokemon, but something that would bring people to the community just because of its uniqueness and nothing being done in the state. Something that could be done at museums as well as incorporated into the businesses. But I don't know where to start.
Well, I have one company actually that's approached me, I forget the name of them, I have paperwork in my office, and they have a rep that's come, they do some software that works with that kind of thing, so I may have her come and give a pitch. The thing is, I don't have any other groups to compare to, and I need at least 3 groups
Eddie,
to
do
do
you
a
know of
comparison.
anything else that was mentioned at that meeting that I failed to?
Tulsa's built one, Tulsa has an app.
I mean, an interactive type thing.
You can walk up to the museum and it'll tell you everything that's, like it'll pop up, show you everything that's on display, like if it's a gallery of art. If you walk over to the BOK Center, it'll tell you all the concerts that are coming up, who's playing.
Do you know who maintains that? If-
Yeah, I remember
if
that.
People can come in and add, but yeah,
What
well,
was
I know.
that company? Or
Well, yeah, I know it was sponsored by the
Well, they
the
keep it up.
foundation.
They do all the
Oh,
stuff.
okay,
They do it.
So yeah, so they've got a staff person that
Yeah,
can
they
keep that
they
up to
created
date.
it, and then the next year they
Okay.
created a staff, and they have a staff that,
Okay.
but it's the,
Do they sell advertising to it or something?
I'll have the card, because
Well, it's the
the Tulsa guy is at all the road
foundation,
shows.
It's the guy
and
who does
we've
all the
talked to
parks
about it.
and
Decoration.
the art, gosh, what is his name? He does Tulsa Artist Fellowship. He does, it's a big
Yeah.
foundation that does it. I'm going blank on the name.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
But I know they.
But I have
he
the,
does
I'll
a lot.
see if I can't find the card, because
Okay.
it's got that foundation that did the app on it.
Yeah, they're local to Tulsa and they invest
Yeah.
in Tulsa.
Yeah.
I'm happy to reach out to them, but I don't know that, I've actually sent them a letter before it's an answer, so.
Sounds cool.
But, I know that Cody was talking about an app he was getting a grant for the buildings downtown, for a historic buildings, and there's a website called History Pin where you can get photos throughout history of things. I would love to incorporate something like that in it. There is a grant available through, the state historical something, I don't think through historic preservation, but it does allow for, not wayfinding signage, I forget what it is, but there is one grant available. I don't think I'm going to be able to apply for it this year because I have to figure out A, who's a member, and B, join up, and the city planner just started today, and I would need to go through that department and through HP. But to look at for something for next year, I think it's a definite possibility.
I'd just like to
Hopefully
keep
that
it
grant
on the
will still be
burner
there.
somewhere.
And Norman-
And I'd
I think
like
it's a
to
good
see
idea.
some research go
Norman
into
has
it.
one also. Norman has an app.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
There's a developer in Tulsa that does this that I know too, if you want their contact info.
Yes, please, anything.
What is his name? Because it may be who we're talking about.
Well, they
Is it a
work,
foundation or is it a company?
it's a company.
Okay, no, it's a different. And I can talk to the Norman CDB, because we're always on the media blitz together, because they have one.
Whatever it does, I would want it to dovetail into what we do because we don't have some staff member to keep up with. You already know, you're doing Google Calendar, and we've got Travel OK, we've got our website, and we've got the email list, and then and by the time, we don't have one communications person, you have me and Ethan, we're pedaling hard.
We're tired.
But we wanna do great things, right, Heath?
We do.
So,
We do.
I just want to make sure it's something that can work with our existing platform so that we're not having to replicate work in one more place. But that's possible, so give me resources, we can find somebody that can do that. What else for future items? Any more? That's it?
That's enough.
Okay, that's
enough
plenty for the next meeting. All right, staff comments. Keith, will you give us a report on social media?
You do, you have your report in front of you. It is smaller this month because the end of last month, they changed to a subscription base if you want all the data. So,
How much is the subscription?
$100 for the year.
I might need to put that on the next agenda.
Yeah, because this is what you get if you don't pay for this, which I mean, these are still good numbers, but
No, the
you
others
don't,
worth.
yeah, you don't get all the stuff like we used to get, so.
Is that 100 a month or 100 for the
I think
whole
it's the,
year?
yeah, I can look, I think it's, I just looked at it today when I went to
I
print
can
this
get one
off.
internally prior to that if possible, just.
So, I mean, when I went to print this off, I just quickly read that they went to subscription base and I didn't, but I can go back and look. I think I read it was for the year, but I can find out.
Yeah.
So, so as of right now, these are your numbers. And everything has gone down for the month, so. And I don't know if that's because there's not as much, I mean, it seems like there's still as much going on, but I don't know. I'm gonna go back through and look at all the spikes and see what's not being looked at and what's being looked at, so. Questions, answers? Comments? Okay.
Let's see here. How was, I forget when the media blitz was and we've already. talked
Oh, I did.
about
I don't know if was it after last month's meeting? I don't remember.
It's a little embarrassing.
Just in case, I'll repeat myself, but the last media blitz, we went all the way up into Shawnee, Muskogee, and Tahlequah. We stopped at 3 newspapers, 2 radio stations, and to me, it was a lot better media blitz than the one that we went all the way up into Branson, because the 2 radio stations we stopped out already promote Guthrie. The radio station in Tahlequah, they were already giving away bluegrass tickets. So our giveaway, they were just going to add to the bluegrass tickets and give it away as a bundle. One of the DJs comes to bluegrass every year, and so they were all about, when we were doing our interview, they were all about talking about Guthrie because they knew Guthrie, they'd been here. And then the other radio station in Muskogee, he knew of Guthrie, he hadn't come to any events, but so he was all about talking about Guthrie during our interview, and so it just made the interview more lively because they already supported and already knew Guthrie. So to me, those 3 stops was a better media blitz than the 5 stops we did. Not saying that they were bad stops, but I think just the interaction and the radio time that we got, because they already knew Guthrie already, so it was good. It was a good showing. So
I do know, speaking of events, I'm starting to get people sending me events. That's wonderful because I was having to go out and find all of them. I'm still doing a little bit of that, but trying to get my name out there. Send me your stuff. So, and if you hear about something that's a tourism event, please do go ahead and send it to me. I may have heard about it before, but I'd rather hear about it twice than we miss it. Aaron Ryburn, I also have to give a great thanks to Aaron because he put together a media contacts list for me so that anytime we have press releases, news, things of that nature, we can send it out to one group. I'm happy to share that with events so that they can get the word out to different media outlets across the state. And there's also a listing that I have. I think I sent it to Kaylin at the boarding house because she asked for it. She said, do you know places to get the word out? There's plenty of online calendars where you can submit things for free. Oklahoma Gazette is one. Some of the news stations provide them. It is work to go in and put things in those calendars, but they're free resources that people check. So it's some exposure. Those are generally online, but yeah, they're there. Other thing, let's see here. Upcoming events, of course, we've got Guthrie Escape coming up. We've got several runs and
Bluegrass.
all sorts of things coming up this fall. So exciting times. There's also, what is it? I don't think you probably heard this. Vision Farms is doing a Fall on the Farm. They're doing Farm to Fork fundraiser, which I think is sold out, but there may be a few tickets left. Check. But there's a Fall on the Farm event. I think
Every
they were
Friday,
looking for
Saturday.
That. So yeah, Friday, Saturdays. Go to the pumpkin patch. Free for families.
pumpkin
It's
bowling,
exciting.
pumpkin toss, pumpkin everything.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's free.
And it's
Except
free.
for things that they're selling,
So Travelocade ad, this is what I created. I may do some slight adjustments. I'm waiting back, I think, from 1 or 2 people to get their listing approved. I've got to send this to Travelocade and to Edmund this week for our ad split. So it is rolling, it is coming up quick. The reason these people are listed is because they paid to be listed. So we're not trying to play favorites, but cut our costs on that. Tourism website, I'm continuing work on that, trying to add hours to places. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. It's been pretty positive. I need to look into, what is it called? Optimization, search engine optimization. That's something I'm planning to look in next. Map brochure.
Ever go
No, I keep them here forever, Leroy.
Like you?
Have a good night.
Good night, Leroy.
Map brochure, I'm still waiting some quotes. Several people design and print, some people just design, some people just print. I've got 2 major ones that I'm waiting on before we can meet again about that. But when we meet again, we'll have slight breakdowns, suggested number of pages. I'm gonna work on we have some photos in house. I'm probably gonna have Heath take a bunch of photos to go in that. And I think other than that, I said volunteers. If you know anybody in the community who can volunteer at events, I know several of them are needing people. If you're connected with any organizations who wanna help with the Teen Book Con or Bluegrass Festival or
more volunteers.
some of these things. So I'm also kind of throwing around putting a page on the tourism website for voluntourism is what I'm going to call
I
it,
like
because
that.
some people like to travel and do good where they're at. You
Right.
can get groups together.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's way to serve, and it would be a way for people in the community to post opportunities for that.
Plus, it would have us working together with a lot of other people in the community, and I think that's good.
Yep. It's a thing. Okay, so Keith, you have anything else?
I don't.
Board comments? Okay.
Oh, I do, sorry.
No,
Just
no.
one. The Worldwide Photo Walk, October 7th, from
Oh,
11 to
yay.
3.
The what now?
The Worldwide Photo Walk that I do every year through Scott Kelby. It's a national photo walk that goes on all over the world.
Oh, okay.
And I've hosted one here in Guthrie for 6 years.
It's the first time I
And,
met you.
and it's grown. We got about 30. Last year we had 35 people.
That's great.
Only 2 of them were from Guthrie.
That's great.
So,
So we're gonna spread the word.
hmm,
We need to spread the word in Guthrie.
yep.
Yeah, I'll
So
put that
I
on the
got-
calendar. Or
yeah.
I'll have you put that on the
Yeah, I'll put-
October
I'll-
7th.
Yeah, October 7th, 11 to 3.
Meet at Chilton's.
Yep,
Thanks, Keith.
you're welcome.
Donuts and coffee.
At Dan's.
Come on.
Well, all right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we are